All right, we're live. If you're here, it means you probably got reeled in by my title. Yeah, it's true, but whatever. Let me put this here because I always miss the live stream chats. So I'd like to catch those for the first time. Give me 1 second. Let me pop this out. All right, cool. Let's do this. So if anyone has anything to say, no one's here yet. I don't think so. We don't know yet, but either way. All right. So welcome. I'm here with whoever. M.
I'm here too.
Okay, so we're going to go over basically what our current belief is on the market right now, what's going on, what we think is going to be happening in the next few weeks, the next week even, the next 2 weeks, however long. So firstly, that's important, is what we know is the China deal is pushed back to December. That is still, true. One more recent change is that there's the $34 billion liquidity inflow in the last 6 weeks is what has been putting us back into the market. So let me actually switch to the screen right here. So there's a $34 billion influx of liquidity into the market from the Fed. Now this is half of what was promised in the during the repo. So around this time, I guess we could probably be seeing like Bank of America and stuff start coming up a lot. Yeah, okay, figures. I should have kept an eye on this, actually, come to think about it. And that would actually explain, so here, let me switch it back here. So that would explain, so you see this as Bank of America has been kind of taking up. I think you'll see the same from JP Morgan and Credit One. I don't know what Credit One's thing is. I don't really pay attention to theirs. Oh, Wells Fargo, yeah. So then on top of that, the TLT has obviously been coming down as a result of that because with everything that's going on as far as the market is concerned, we're green. We are positive for now, and that's really interesting. Especially this is at least in the last few days, a lot of the influx has come from this fact. So the Chinese administration, and this is what happened. What we found out this morning. I think it was this morning.
No, it was this afternoon.
Afternoon, right?
Which is causing the whole drop down.
Well. Like yesterday because we saw the spike up this morning, right? Mm-hmm. So if we look, I'll open up the SPY right here real quick. Around yesterday night, they released information, and then SPY gapped up. Really, the entire market gapped up quite a bit after we had earnings from Qualcomm and Roku, which I think I already covered in the last video, so I'm not going to really talk about in this one. They ended up. What is it? We ended up coming quite a bit. I think it was 1% or so. Close to 1% on the SPY, right around here. Close to 1% on the SPY. Oh, that's not exactly accurate. Right here, but we saw 1% increase on Amazon and other stocks like that. So that is kind of what happened. That was the original understanding, and the reason that it went up like that was because of the rollback, right? So everyone had considered that China and U.S. had mutually agreed on the fact that they were going to be rolling back tariffs, and that would be more or less good for both economies. Right. And actually, as a result of that, originally at least, the Chinese yuan had to come down very strongly, especially in the whole talks, because they haven't determined what their status is yet on the currency deal. Mm-hmm. I don't think. So that's
Have
still...
they ever done anything with that?
A currency deal in general? Yeah. Or like... In history, or just recently? No, recently.
Recently.
I don't think so. So they haven't been decided yet.
It's because after this breakout at 7, they started being called. China's being called currency manipulators.
Yeah. And
so that's what sparked up
the whole currency. And it is important to note actually that for the first time in a while, actually, I think in 2 months, which is a while, I think, the currency. We just hit below 7. Yeah. So
and 7 has been the ceiling for the yuan.
For the yuan for a long time. So if we go back further, apart from this actually no, this is the ceiling. Yeah. So doesn't let me zoom out much more. But regardless, 7 has been the ceiling. We crossed it dangerously, and that had really done a number on the way that our economy was actually working out. Now this is coming down. We're doing well. As a result of it. Now, we did come down as a result because we found out today in the afternoon that the U.S. had not issued a release. So what that means is this run-up that we had, this gap that actually led us to the all-time highs on the market, which I'm not even showing right now, that led us to the all-time highs on the market, could be unsubstantiated. And if that remains to be true, then we will probably pull back firstly to the low, and then we'll probably start breaking down even more because these tariffs, either way, are not interpreted well, right? So agreement for the
Right,
most part.
right.
Yeah, and so that's an important note. Additionally, what I want to point out is these bonds have been really kind of going up quite fast. Actually, it's kind of weird because I was looking at it the other day. It was like 1.8, and then I was looking at it again today, and it's a lot higher. The way that the 10 year is crossing, and it doesn't really show that in the change, but the 10 year has been going a lot faster than the 2 year. And
if you check the TLT right now, you'll see that on the daily it has broken a support that was recently there. Right
here, right?
Yeah. So that
136.
because it's
Yeah.
the inverse, right? So I think it's the inverse of maybe the 10 year. I forgot.
It's the in-year of the 20 year.
20 year.
Yeah,
Okay,
which
yeah.
we don't really have here, but it's by what's it called, Barclays. So
Right.
they put them into 20 years and then they cover it over that period of time. So
But this down red day for today really substantiates this huge ass
increase actually.
Yeah.
And it because it was like 1.8 I think in my yesterday video. Yeah.
That's a full point.
That's a full point, and that's a lot because
Yeah.
you understand, like, not just months ago, back in August, was it August? This was not long ago, where around this time where we had a really high, I think we saw an inversion, and so the inversion happened at 1.5, and then it just kind of continued on this inversion trend for a little bit. It retested that repeatedly, and then afterwards it just kind of didn't do that again.
Yeah.
So now we've uninverted, which is whatever, but this is good. This is good and bad in some sense. This is actually I think this is important because it means that the rate cuts are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because that was a fear, because we had 3 rate cuts in a row, and for 3 rate cuts we had not seen that change, which is actually really interesting if you think about that, because that is changing. Because now what the interest rates on currently are between 1.5 to 1.75. So right now the 2 years sitting around 1.68, but the 10 years are still 2. So that's really good to know that right now our interest rates are going to be higher, and obviously because the 2 year and the 3 months, those are most directly affected by the current interest rates that we have established. So whatever the Fed sets, and then over the long term, we're a little bit more protected. That's why the 30 year is 2.3%, 2.4 almost. So I do want to see that. Why don't you continue this for me for a second?
So we want to see this continuation of the increasing bonds, because that really goes away against our inversion that happened, I think, in September. So this sort of eases the qualms of a lot of investors right now that are looking into the bond market. So for now, if we do get even more positive news, this will definitely support that. In doing so, because there's no talk about an inversion yet.
Exactly, and so the inversion is usually the precursor, and then on top of that, the Fed rate cuts are the 3 in a row. Wow, it just changed. The Fed rate cuts are also kind of the precursor. We had 3 in a row, which is not great. This is not. When you have 3 rate cuts in a row, that's sign of a contracting economy. So that's something that we want to start paying attention to, but we're not going to see it just yet. So we're going to start seeing. I think we're going to start seeing maybe a potential second bull rally, especially if this news comes out to be positive going into the Q. So we're finishing up the Q3 earnings right now. As we pull into Q4, the earnings are probably going to perform a lot better for a lot of these international companies. Companies that are based either internationally or creates their product internationally. So Apple will do phenomenally well. Amazon will have a lot easier of a time as well. Alibaba will probably explode. So Alibaba, when you see that point kind of coming around, is definitely the time to start paying attention to that one, in my opinion. Keeping those in mind as you start going into this. This is a slow process. Recession is a slow thing, so nothing happens immediately. So I think that's another thing to keep an eye out on. And these are the 2 pieces of news that I think are going to be pushing it. The deal pushed to December, because we keep doing this. This is what keeps us running. How long? And you have to watch what effect this actually has, right? Because every time we spike. Anytime there's news, we're spiked, and we have this artificial run up for a few days, and then we take a break, and you can see that. If we go back to the SPY, you can see whenever we have these run ups, we start pulling back a little, and then we run up again. And this is half by news, half by lately it's been of earnings, but it's also from sometimes tweets. Tweets are intraday volatile, but they're not daily volatile. I don't think.
Right.
But yeah, so this is all really important stuff. I think that if this news does not become released, if this is not official at some point, we're gonna find that the yuan is gonna shoot right the fuck back up. That'd be a good time to actually trade currencies if you do trade forex. I'm not into that, but are you into forex?
Yeah. No.
Not really. Apparently forex is like really good though. I don't know. One thing I actually do want to watch is gold, because gold is really like fun right now. It's acting kind of weird to me. I've been keeping.
That's a good spot actually.
Exactly.
Right
That's what I'm thinking. The this crossover, and then the way that it's acting in regards to how the market's performing. Right. Exactly, right? So it's kind of holding at these levels, and I think that
the volume today has been the most.
Exactly.
So far,
and
the most.
It held despite that. So either tomorrow we're probably going to see a come down on gold, or we're going to start seeing the opposite. So we're probably going to start seeing bigger moves with gold. I think this and a few other things are precursors to I think what is to come, and that's something we want to keep out for sure. At any rate, that's something important. I do want to see if there's anything going on in Econoday, if there's anything like expected. So we're Friday, so all right, nothing for this Friday. I don't expect anything else up until I think was it the 15th? I skipped forward.
The numbers.
There.
Yeah. Next one.
Oh. Gotcha.
Oh, Monday is closed.
Oh, son of a bitch. Friday's gonna suck. How did I even not know that?
Okay, so actually this is good. So for holidays, it's gonna predict a sell-off.
Yeah, okay. So anticipate a sell-off into that. And then, I half anticipate that probably going into Monday, we're probably going to see a ridiculous rally. This timing happens
Wednesday.
Oh, the Treasury budget too. Okay, this is going to be important. The Treasury budget actually is really important because that
CPI
has
as well.
When is that?
8:30.
8:30. Okay, so Wednesday is going to be very, very important actually.
Oh, and then
and the mortgage applications.
Claims? Oh my gosh.
Okay. So there's a lot of shit happening next week. Cool. Yeah, that's what you figured on the 15th, right? So great. So Wednesday is going to be actually very important. So I would keep an eye out on what happens on Wednesday. The mortgage applications to me are pretty important because we're not in a housing budget, I don't think, or a housing crisis. This is actually important because of what's going on. Do you remember the the FOMC meeting regarding the deregulation of international banks? That is half what this I think will be about.
Okay.
So not mortgage per se. It's connected to that though, because as they start lowering their DTI, there's going to be a higher chance of higher employment, and this is going to be not just like 2008 again, but it's going to be akin to that in some way. So keeping an eye on actually those numbers I think will be pretty valuable. And then Powell speaks that day. The CPI is important. We need to know what's going on there. The Treasury budget as well. So we'll probably actually get some analyst opinions as this comes out, and that'll be important because that'll affect the market as well. So if they think, for example, if they think the trade deal if the tariff rollback doesn't happen, the CPI is affected by that directly. So if they don't perform well or whatever, you're going to get a bunch of analyst talk, and then that analyst talk is going to have a direct effect. So that's something that's important in terms of news. I think that's part of it. This is all I think fundamental stuff that kind of rolls back that you might want to think about. But that's as far as that's concerned. That's it. And the entire time I hadn't shown any of that. So I didn't even close it. Yeah. Okay. So Wednesday's here, and then Friday is also. Is it Friday? No, it's Thursday. So Thursday, we get the balance sheet, and then we got the gas reports and stuff like that. So and the money supply. So, and most importantly, the jobless claim. So we'll see how that goes, and what effects these have with the PMI, the product and the consumer price indexes. So we'll have to watch. We have no control over these, but you can kind of think about where you're going economically speaking based on this information. So, all right, that's enough of that. Let's get into the plays. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have turned into him. Okay, so gold, like I said, is something that I really want to keep an eye out now. So that's going to be on my watch list. If it starts taking support and starts pulling up, expect a pullback from the market tomorrow, especially based on how it's kind of moving right now. It's not directly being affected. We can look at the ES and figure out for sure what's going on. Yeah, so the ES is a little bit coming down in the 4 hours and in the 1 hour and in the hour. Okay, cool.
Okay, so if ES is going down right now, then gold should be coming up.
And it is. The gold isn't as reactive, but you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it come Monday morning. So gold and another stock. If you're wondering, I love the options on Nugget, but they're great. I have a lot of levels on this one. So it broke under this level. But it is taking a support below, so it's probably gonna break above. Technically, from a technical standpoint, yes, it's pretty decent. But gold isn't our main wanto, so let's cycle through these and see what's up. So there's my plethora of lines. Holy shit! What was this? What
weird
what idiot?
Yeah.
What? Whoever got filled, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. Okay, so
Amazon's been looking really weak.
It has, and that's why I freaking love it, because I think Amazon has been stuck on this 1800 level.
Yeah.
It is preparing, I think, for a run soon. Like if you look at just this area, let me get this clear. If you look at, we've been stuck in this range for a while now, and you can watch this wedge as well. I have it here on the daily as well. If you look at it right there. So we've been kind of bouncing around this thing for a while. So we're continuing up this trend, but so tomorrow is probably going to be our turnaround. We'll maybe hit 1814. That's my opinion. I think that it is possible that following that day, or we're gonna hit probably 1814, maybe a bit higher, maybe 1820. Pull back, hold, and then after that point, we're gonna probably shoot off on the next day. And I think Tuesday is actually gonna be a good reaction day. It's just my feeling about as far as all this information is concerned. I think that's a not an unreasonable idea, as far as all of this is concerned. So we'll see. We will have to wait and see how this all plays out. But yeah,
we'll have to see actually a few things, because right now SPY's or ES is coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
But then that combined with the fact that Monday is closed, kind of incites that sort of gravitational pull downwards.
Yeah, we're probably gonna start sliding.
Probably gonna slide.
And it makes sense also because we're hitting all-time highs. We hit all-time highs this morning.
Right.
And so it makes sense that we'd probably get a
give
back. And then that is actually a thing I want to cover now. Apple. So Apple just keeps fucking hitting these all-time highs, and it's fucking weird because it's very directly with what's it called? SPY, right?
Yeah.
So ATH as Apple. Amazon is not. I don't think Qualcomm is it? Qualcomm hit hard today. Yeah, no, Qualcomm is at its all-time high, actually. So some of these stocks are starting to hit their all-time highs. I think you might remember a previous video of mine about OLED. OLED is fucking amazing, I'm telling you. And I cannot believe I didn't play this earnings, because I knew earnings was going to be good for them. But OLED is just so forgotten for me.
Yeah.
It's why it's ridiculous, but I love OLED. It's actually my favorite option stock. So, yeah, watch OLED, dude. It's gonna go back to whatever this shit is. So, anticipate that, and if not, watch for this gap down. This is actually a very good technical play if you decide that's something you want to take. But yeah, OLED is a good stock. It went up 15%. I think it was beyond the expected. I did look at the expected. It was less than that, but not by much. So, we can look at it right now actually, how the earnings hit. Just give me a second. What is this? Solheim?
I'm actually thinking, so OLED is pretty interconnected with Apple.
Yes.
And so the reason why, if the earnings were either before Apple or after Apple, you could have used as an indicator for
how they were going to perform.
Exactly.
Because not just them, and Samsung as well, but Samsung doesn't do open ERs, so
right. So this maybe
I'm looking at the options, and it does look like they all got crushed though. So okay. But I to also be fair, it hit 202, so it might actually not have gotten crushed. It might have actually taken off and then pulled back some, because it did come back down later in the day. So, That also, wait, I'm not even thinking properly. I'm such a dumbass. Okay, this day. So I have no way of tracking whether or not the options were crushed or not right now. I have to wait for them to buffer the information in TD. So until then, OLED, the miss of the year. All right, so then we got Cat. Cat's been taking off after their earnings. They've been kind of continuing this. I think Cat
Wow, are they finally above that whole?
Yes, by a
Wow, that's
large
interesting.
amount too. Their peak right here. I'll show the account right here. Was at 143. Now they broke above it. They were having really a lot of trouble breaking this range area. And now they're finally out of it.
Finally out of it.
Yeah, I know.
It's been so long.
I know, it's crazy. And then we got BA. BA, damn, is a bitch, isn't she? One more rollover would have been amazing. However, from a, let me think. All right, sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Okay, so let me see what's going on there. So BA still, from a technical standpoint, looks pretty solid on this comeback up. After this huge dip off, I really do like BA.
Right.
I have no reason to believe that it's coming down.
Why don't you set a quick alert for 360?
Yeah, actually, you're probably right.
It's going to go.
Yo, if you guys want to get alerts from me and my boy, just hit me up with your PayPal. I'll get you. No, I'm just kidding. Don't. Just 360. 360 is the BA level. So there you go. Yeah, watch. Yeah, BA actually looks really good. I don't know about playing BA tomorrow. I know about playing SPY, I think, down open. SPY down may be open, and then depending on how it acts, obviously, to the price action. But I'd like to think that SPY will probably open up down, and then the volatility hasn't really broke. It's weird because the October volatility is still here. We haven't lost that yet. So that is an important feature in regards to this. You should pay attention to is how this volatility is working. BA looks good. I would say if we could play this maybe debit spreads up, or selling the credit spreads against the bottom, so 355s.
Right.
That wouldn't be terrible. You could just it'd be hard, but for tomorrow it'd be difficult. But
yeah,
depending on the price action, it wouldn't be too terrible. So maybe if you bought at open, like at this final hour, that would have actually been a very good play. But now not so great. So that's one. What else? So we got Netflix. Netflix has kind of been just riding this thing and then kind of pushing up past it, so we can take a look. So Netflix does look decent. If you look at the daily, it looks okay. Everything to me has been looking okay. Like nothing is excessively strong.
Right.
Except for Apple. Apple is just ridiculous right now.
Super strong.
But it's just kind of going. I don't really anticipate much. But this volatility, if you look at here, this volatility is insane. Like I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah.
So it went up like $10, 10 points, I think, 8 points, 2.5%. It came back all down. I mean, you can play this volatility if you're smart, if you know how to size these up. I mean, honestly, we should be doing that. This is pretty, like, if you saw this, playing the opposite side of this is super fucking easy.
Right.
So if you're an intraday trader, right there you go, day trades right there. Fucking, what is this? 1%.
On the way down.
And then on the way down, also 1%. Yeah, Jesus, you're getting 100% both ways. 150 actually, from both directions. So there you go. You guys are winners. No, for real, these are great. So watching these, and then you're in Tesla calls. You were in Tesla calls.
I was.
You were. I were. Yeah. So they're doing. Yeah, they took off, and this is half doing. They got an upgrade, didn't they?
No, they got. They got an upgrade by I think like Moody or like Spy or something like that. And it was regarding their revenue.
Yeah.
And how they actually might be even more better than
we
before.
thought.
Yeah, than we thought. Yeah.
Well,
so
makes sense, right?
Yep.
Let me set the levels on this. Do you want? We should probably start setting alerts just every time. I don't know where this is though. 335.
Set it at the top.
Yeah, I will. I'll do both. So, create an alert. Yo, TD, please make a better, less shitty version of this. I want to click. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do this much work just to get some alerts. All right, there you go. Those are my alerts. So, but depending on that, you can actually play the price action tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be mostly, I think, sell-off-y-ish. Now we got INTC. INTC completely, goddamn, filled this thing. I can't believe I wrote this before the earnings. This is ridiculous. Yeah, so INTC is great. We're probably, technically speaking, this doesn't look great, though. Look at the volume is okay. The volume's average.
Yeah. A lot of dojis.
A lot of dojis. Yeah, I agree. And then right
Go to
here.
McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm going to. McDonald's, okay, so McDonald's has been coming down quite a bit because of rotations. So a lot of stocks have been rotating out. This video is getting very long. We're at like 31 minutes. But yeah, I think as far as this is concerned, it's looking pretty weak. So let's look at the main ones now. Like AMD is due for a turn, I think, as well. So I think we both agreed with that. McDonald's continuing these rotations has been just tanking lately. That fucked up our entire credit spreads on those. So but it totally, like, I was totally wrong about this SMA. I thought it would hold. It held for like a day.
Yeah.
And it tanked.
The moment it did, we were like, it's gonna come back. No.
It was the dumbest shit ever. Yeah. Play your strategy. Don't be retarded. Okay. What else? So that looks good. UNH is apparently up 5%. Of course they are. Why? Do you know why?
No idea. Well, all-time high.
Why is it 1%? Are these points or percentages? All right. There we go. It's a little bit better. But all right. So Baba also looks like a downward play. I think I've noticed this earlier. I do expect the Baba will probably be coming down. Just what was this? Was it 188? Was that a level? 186 was the top of this. 188 was the top of this range that it was stuck in for a long time. It might actually just get stuck in this range again and not really escape it. I've noticed that happens quite a bit, actually. Like, something will move out of a range and then get stuck in it again. Especially with Baba. Like, Baba's just all about ranges. So maybe, there you go.
Yeah, maybe credit spreads or iron condors on this.
Actually, iron condors on Baba would look really good. The UAL is behaving in a weird way. I think it's gonna. You think it's gonna hit 95 and then come back down, or maybe hit 95, hold. Maybe an iron condor on UAL for the next week. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all that's really worth looking at, except for Beyond. Beyond is shitting its bed.
This trend is
amazing, and no one is hitting it. Because you can look. What is this? What day is this?
I went from
This is the 3rd of October. I really just want to see what this change is, honestly. So right here, click. Okay. Oh my fucking god! 1 month, they lost 42% of their value. Yeah. That's insane. Actually, yeah. I mean, remember when Beyond actually first came out? We're still above, and this is incredible. We're up 100%. Well, not anymore. We were up 100%. In terms of pure stock value. This is very interesting because this is what's known as the hype cycle, and I kind of do want to show it. So, and I think that we'll close it out with the hype cycle, and then we'll find something else to do. Hype cycle. Oh, that looks familiar. So here is what the hype cycle looks like. Now, it's not exactly, obviously, correlative.
We're in this yeah.
We're in the trough of disillusionment. We hit a peak, obviously. This was due to a massive overvaluing of Beyond stock. And now here we are at this bottoming level. We don't know what this level is. It filled this gap very easily, and it was a huge missed opportunity for us as well. So play those technicals if you can. And then eventually we'll probably start seeing it round out, assuming all goes well. However, it is possible that it'll do what Neo had done. A lot of people kept calling, what was it, like $4? Yeah, this shit and this shit. They called this a double bottom. And then it created like 5 more bottoms. So, yeah, Neo is one of those things. So this was also a similar hype cycle, but a failed unicorn kind of thing. Anyway, I think that is all.
But recently they got a lot of volume. What is that? You see that?
Actually, well, yeah.
What?
48%. Yo, okay. This is actually valuable information. This is probably like some news piece that actually came out. Yeah. Let me check it out, because it might as well, right? While we're here. Okay. Asian ADRs. American depository receipts of stocks were trading 1.1% higher at 1.5 thousand. of the BNY melon. No, this is just technical information. But this is just
what was that day? 11.5. Go scroll down to 11.5.
Sector update. Consumer stocks were moderately higher on Tuesday. No, this is just a report.
Bring self-carving drive.
Okay. Shares rallied to their highest level in more than a month. Said to contributing with Intel. Ooh. Okay. This is actually here. This is some SEC shit now. And wait a minute, isn't Intel just kind of going? Yeah. Okay.
What day was that? November 5th?
5th.
4th?
It was the 5th. And so, very much so. So it hasn't hit yet with them. We don't even know if it's good news for Intel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. That's what this crap is. It's all undecided information that you kind of need to learn about and figure out whether or not it's going to be perceived well. We're gonna have to watch. Maybe it's great news. Maybe Intel and Neo strike a good deal, and if that happens, then that's a really good outlook for both of them. And that playing Neo as a long-term investment might actually become worth it at that point, because if the shares really are $2 per share and they have a net, like an actual value, the stock has a market cap of, some actually properly stated billion instead of 800 billion like WeWork and SoftBank's inability to price things. I think you're in for something pretty decent, and so that could be good actually. So add that to the list. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been fun. It's been valuable. So thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys next time. Want to say bye?
See ya.
Cool.